ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. We are like that wonderful sound that you want to hear coming through your speakers every week. Those wonderful tones that you're like, oh, H&H is like ASMR to my brain. And I'm like, oh, listen to the news go into my ears and it makes me all tingly. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have more Horseshoes and Hand Grenades in my ears because this is the greatest show that I've ever heard in my life. And then you're like, wait, I have to turn my car off, but I don't want to. So you sit in your driveway after you get home from work, but in the before times, and you would listen to your show, and you're like, I can't turn the car off yet. They're about to be funny again. And then we go on an angry rant for 25 minutes, and you're out of gas. That's what this show's all about. Hi, I'm your host, Steven, joined as always by the crazy, the amazing, the wonderful Smashley.
Hi.
Smashy, if you were... Oh, I was about to...
No, if I was what?
Important.
If I was what?
If there was a machine, imagine if you will, close your eyes, paint the picture. There's a machine.
Okay.
You insert people into it, and it extracts the essence of what makes them a person. Don't be weird. It extracts their essence, and from it is created a musical thing, genre, flavor.
Wait,
if you will.
does the person die? Because that sounds painful to have your essence extracted.
Let's pretend that this is the beta. So yeah, the person's destroyed, but we're working towards the feature where you just extract who they are in like a copy, and then the clone is destroyed, which I think is more ethical.
With no. Okay. Do you? Okay. Now what?
Is a bug on your desk?
I don't want to touch it. It was this.
Oh,
this. I don't.
It's a can of wasp killer.
I turned and it was just okay. It's fine.
Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, the essence of you as a person goes through this machine and becomes musical. And I want the chat to chime in as well. What flavor of music, if you will, comes out the other side? Like, what's the style? Who are you if you're transposed into a musical style? I know I hit you out of nowhere with this one. I'll start while you think.
Yes,
because I ask questions so that I can tell things. I was
gonna say you gotta lead with that because.
Sure. So for me, a lot of my life has been spent listening to pop punk and punk rock in its various forms since high school. But I started with country, and there's a little known fact about me that I'm going to share, and that's for Christmas. When I was 15, I asked my mom for the Pure Disco album that came out at the time. And then after that, there was another album, Pure Disco 2. And I got both of them. And they were double disc sets of 70s funk music. Now, there was along with it, there was disco, sure. But those are the songs that got me. Yeah, like Funky Town and stuff. Funky Town, Car Wash, Jungle Boogie, all that stuff. Roller Coaster of Love.
Jungle Boogie.
Yeah. So there's songs that everyone doesn't think of as disco. So let's get out of the disco thingy. But it was I know it's not funk, but it was like it had funk on the album. And I was really into that. And then I kind of went off for a little while. But that was always like a thing of me that's like, I really love this music, and this music is me as a person. And then recently I've discovered a band called Wolfpack after a buddy of mine at work mentioned them, and I'm addicted to them. And I've determined that if I were to be put into a machine, that really the essence of my life would come out as this funk, slapping bass, awesome sauce groove. And it also goes back to the Muppets. Muppets from Space is full of like Stevie Wonder and like that really cool, like, I don't know, man. It's just that's it for me. Like if I was stuck on a desert island, I would want to jam, celebrate, good times come on.
Okay, so we started off with a War of the Worlds music extractor, human exterminator, shot through the Muppets.
Yeah. It's my favorite Bon Jovi cover, by the way.
And then shot through the Muppets, your hands in their butt, you give. I got nothing.
That was good. Excellent try. Excellent try.
It had the beginning of something.
That's all you need,
My
really.
brain is not even like half tilt today.
Yeah,
It's not there. Funk. I could see that. Like I feel like
it's
if you were an
positive.
instrument, you would be like a happy trumpet
Yeah,
that
it's like
occasionally made fart noises.
it's got the overtly positive vibe to it. It can be chill if you want. It's got like a layered groove just permeating it. You got the groove, so you kind of can sit there and
Okay.
do this to it. That's kind of how that's my optimal state is just doing this to nearly everything.
Code,
Yeah,
chicken code,
is everything
code.
working,
You're a
Steven?
code.
Yeah, no, everything's falling apart, man. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Never
I
let the
can see
groove die.
that.
Yeah.
Mother fuck me.
so
Accident.
so do you know?
Close the notes.
That's fine. You don't need them. It's half-hour power anyway. We'll find them later.
I don't, because there's certain things that make me happy and they're not. So I found out the classification of the music that I enjoy most is unfortunately called noise with the Z. And people are like, what do you listen to? And I'm like,
Noise.
just Russian, Germans yelling, whatever. But it's like so techno and house are different, but they're both electronica, but even that's different. But the noise is different and it's kind of like if electronica and Germans got into a room and like pumped out babies. I don't know.
I
I'm
think
happiest list. Polka came on yesterday. So I was sitting on the bed with the baby yesterday and I just started bouncing. And I don't know why, but he crawled up on my back like a little orangutan and like held on for dear life while I was like bouncing up and down, just giggled for 15 minutes. It was the best thing ever. And it was humming the Mexican hat dance in my head. Like, and I did it over and over and over. So I was like, hey, Alexa, play Mexican hat dance. Sorry, everybody. And so it just started. And so I had that on repeat. And then I asked her to play it again when I came back. And she ended up misunderstanding me and started playing like a German polka station on Pandora.
that's amazing.
And it was amazing. And like the baby's sitting here bouncing and clapping and like thought it was Jacob's like, what the hell are you listening to? I'm like, I don't know, but I don't mind it.
I need it in my life.
Yes. So I don't know. Maybe polka
So
music.
polka noise.
Yeah, sure.
That
Yeah,
sounds
polka
that sounds
noise.
good. Yeah, I mean, like if I were to think
dig
about
that.
like two pieces of imagery that could combine and make you into who you are, it's the Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a unicorn. Like if those two things were matched up, you get smashy. That's what I think.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh my god, that would be so Whimsyshire. If anybody's played Diablo and they've gone to Whimsyshire, I feel like if my soul ripped open and bled out, it would be Whimsyshire. Killer
That's
unicorns
that checks out.
and adorable little flowers that try to eat you and cupcakes.
That's good. I think that's healthy. That's a good place to be. But yeah, I don't know. I was just
Speaking of
sitting there.
healthy,
Yeah.
how you doing? This
Huh?
week has sucked.
What you want me to tell you?
Yes.
That's not good. No, I'm good. No, this
He's
week
not
is
good.
this week has been
Nobody's
butts.
good.
So we got our shots yesterday, which was great because it means we got our shots. However, they used like the kind of needle they would use to take down Godzilla.
Or to put Godzilla
She was-
in your veins.
She basically hoisted the syringe up on her shoulder and was like, "Okay, let's go." Wait, what do you have there? And
Bazooka Bukake.
yeah, she jammed a giant tube in my arm and was like,
Ugh.
"This is a big stick." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was a big stick. I would rather have been hit with a big stick." And she was like, talking. She said something. I was so in so much pain while the needle was just hanging out in my body, and she's all like, "Some people say they want the doctors to do these." I say, "Good luck with that," because doctors suck at giving shots, I guess. She's
Yeah.
like, "You want
Well, I
nurses
mean, they
taking care of you."
yeah.
But yeah, they did use a double O gauge needle that it had to have been. It was the largest one they make.
Like the 18. Wait. Is it the bigger?
The lower the gauge, the thicker the material, right? Isn't that it? Or no, guitar strings is the opposite. But in
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say for shotguns, like a 12 gauge is ouch. A 24 gauge is, not gonna blow your shoulder
right,
off.
it's the opposite. Guitar strings is heavier, gauge is heavier, but if you're talking about Brad nailers, 16 gauges are big, 21 gauges are like pins. So yeah,
Right. I
smaller
think
number,
that. So I
bigger.
think that's yeah. Small number is bigger. So if
Hmm.
someone's like, "Hey, do you want to go shoot a 12 gauge?" Be like, "No, I'll shoot a 24 gauge, so
Yeah,
I
I would
can
like
move
to
my
use my
shoulder."
shoulder tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got an 8 gauge shotgun in the back. No, no, thank you.
Yeah. So that's
No,
that's
thank you.
great. I'll just go use my potato cannon
Yeah, good for
at this
you.
point.
Yeah, but so that led to yesterday. Stephanie started feeling pretty bad because the immune response to the second shot is so far has been significantly worse than the previous one. So she went down and out a little bit last night, and then today she's had a fever.
Ugh.
She's had like all the joint pain. She's had the whole gamut. So we're pretty sure she would die if she got COVID at this point. Like that's
Right?
the theory we're going with. It's like you would have died. I'm tired and I'm hurting, but I'm also like I've got this wonderful little bag of hyper psycho that just runs around me all
Hyper
day.
psycho.
And when Stephanie goes down, he's got nobody to go to, so he comes to me. So it's like a constant, "Hey daddy, hey daddy, hey daddy." It's like I need to do the job that I'm paid to do. And then it's like he came in today with a pile of Transformer toys and goes, "Put these together for me," and threw them on my keyboard while I was in the middle of something. I was like, I'm going to eat him. I'm going to eat him. He's just alone. He's just alone. There's just nobody for him. Like, and I mentioned this on Staring at Goats last night, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Also, check your favorite podcasting service for Staring at Goats. But it's the whole, I tried to go find people for him. Like, I tried to go find people and be like, "Hey, are you quarantining? Because our kids are the same age. We should do this." And I feel like that fell through pretty hardcore. And it was like, "Yes, we're also quarantining," but then it was like, "Nobody wants to hang out with you, Steven." And I'm like, "Ah, son of a gun." So I couldn't get. I thought I could create a neighborhood kid watch system where like I don't even care. Just send your kids over here and they can jump on the trampoline. But I think my kid, we let him roam so free and we don't police anything he does that if anyone knows our parenting style, they're like, "I'm not letting my kid go over there. Sam will corrupt him." And Sam's the sweetest,
He
most
is.
behaved kid
The
you'll
worst
ever
that would
find.
happen is he would sneak popsicles.
Yeah, that's his crime. He's a
Yeah.
sweet, well-behaved, wonderful child. He's just hyper, and I need another kid that can help him expel that energy. Because parents suck as friends. We suck as friends. We're not supposed to be in this role
No.
when they're 6
No.
because they have little adventures they're supposed to go on with their friends where they run off and poke each other with sticks, and their friend
They
isn't
take their
going,
sandwiches
"We're gonna."
and beat each other up and get mad
Yeah.
at each other and yeah.
And he goes out and plays with the sticks. But if he's playing with me, I'm like, we better be careful not to hit each other in the eye. But he's going to have a friend that's just like, "F it, I'm going for your eye." And they learn from that. And they get to have arguments with that. And I think I brought that up when I was talking about the other person. Like, we should get our kids together so they can, like, eat each other. And I don't know that worked as well for them as it did for me. Because I'm like, kids should get into trouble. They should go off into the backyard without parental supervision and like dig in the pile of
Roll
wood.
around to the ants and
Yeah, you're
get
pretty
dirty
sure
and,
there's
yeah.
a snake in that wood, but you're not going to worry about it because you're not there. So they can
Right.
go dig through it and be like, "Holy crap, there was a snake in there." They're probably not going to get bit by the snake. There's probably not even a snake in it. But we think there is because we're adults who've lived through some crap, you know? So we suck as friends. You're a good friend because you don't think about anything.
Well, I'm not
make a
his
wonderful-
parent either.
Yeah.
So apparently there's an app called Peanut for like mothers and parents, like primary caregivers to children, to try to find other children because our society's so spread out. Like you don't have most people don't have their family next door, and then like you said, if you're trying to find someone in the same level of quarantine as you, it's super difficult. And
Yeah.
even okay, just so apparently there's this app, and one of my girlfriends that I actually met on Nextdoor because I was like, "Dear Jesus, I'm dying. Please God, is there someone out there that is also quarantining? Like, is it only my family? Please God, please, 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 somebody, anybody." And she's like, pick me. My child is 5 months younger, but she's an amazing human. We're on the same she whatever. And she wrote me, she's like, have I mentioned how thankful I am for you? She's like, read this. And apparently, like, the Peanut app is kind of a Russian roulette of finding people,
Mm.
even though you stick out specific ass. One of the women said, "So I thought I found like my mommy soulmate." And we started talking and we were quarantining and yada yada. And then she brings up that she sells diet pills and that,
Mm.
I might benefit from the diet pills. And she's like, it was traumatic because I gained lots of weight with the pregnancy, yada yada. And I'm just like, what? Why? Like, there's literally like, is there no one else out there that's kind of in the same boat?
Yeah.
Like, no one?
Yes.
I don't
No.
think there is. I think and then I think the people that are quarantining, like Jacob was talking about it yesterday. He's like, I've had both of my shots. I don't know when I'm gonna be comfortable doing stuff. He's like, I should be comfortable going to the store or going out and meeting a friend. He's like, but I'm not.
Yeah. And I think that's where
So
I wound up with the friends I tried to contact. It was like, I've got my shots. You're getting your shots. We both have just agreed that we're not doing, we're not going out. We don't have
yeah.
any people. Like, shoot, send your kid over now. Like,
Right.
I need them.
Yes.
Like, why are we waiting? What are we doing? We both have communicated the fact that we don't see or do anything with anyone. But it's
Yeah.
it's hard for me because I got an only child. Where a lot of people we talk to have two that are near the same age,
Yeah.
so they can at least get into trouble together.
Right.
Siblings aren't always friends, but sometimes they are. But
Yeah.
we're just I don't know. I don't know how to solve it. I just know I keep reaching out and hoping that whoever I find is like quarantined to whatever degree we feel comfortable and doing what they should do. They're not like they're not anti-mask, for instance. Which if you're anti-mask or anti, I don't believe in this vaccine, GTFO, because I'm done with that. But I don't know where to find them. I'm sick of this pandemic. I'm at my what did I tell Stephanie tonight as I was sitting there drowning in my sorrows? I was like, there's a risk level to like how much risk am I willing to take and a mental health level. And those
Yeah.
have been hovering at like a decent they're balanced. Like I feel mentally healthy and I'm handling the risk. I have plummeted in the mental health department. Plummeted. I have fallen down into a hole. You know how deep the Marianas Trench is?
Dad
Deeper
does.
than that. Like deeper, like the crew from Armageddon's down there just drilling as far as they can go. And they're like, somewhere down here we'll find Steven's soul, I promise. Like somewhere, that's where I'm at right now, and I've got to find a way to claw myself out of it. And I called someone, hey, hashtag who needs a counselor? Me. So I called someone, I'm like, help me. I'm having an anxiety attack. I'm going to die. And they're like, that's good. Everyone is. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Are you
Okay.
serious?
No, they didn't say that literally, but that's kind of how it went. I was like, hey, my friend recommended you. And they're like, that's good, good. We might be able to get something going for you in a few weeks. Like,
Oh my god, because everybody is dying right now.
yeah.
One of girlfriends, like, they've been quarantined, but like they're also kind of like the neighborhood mom and dad for lots of children that need help.
Hmm.
Like almost adult to adult children, if that makes any sense. And so they've got 4 kids and they're trying to keep them in sports, but they've been really careful. Like they don't go to restaurants or anything. They socially distance at all the like outdoor sports stuff as careful as they can be without like shooting themselves in the face. And so she texted me the other day. She's like, "Yeah, I think my youngest daughter and I both caught it because we were at a quarantined friend's house, and we ended up finding out that the dad tested positive. And I'm like, "Oh my god, that sucks." Because it's been a year and everybody's been trying to be careful and they've all been getting their shots and stuff. So I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is. Like, because everybody's been so careful, but the cases are down. But then you're like, really good friend gets it, and you're just like, I'm never leaving the house again. But I also might shoot myself. So
Yeah. Like legit, there's real concern for like I'm going to run off into the woods naked and not realize what I'm doing. I'm going to enter a fugue state, and they'll find me they'll find me in the woods, and I'll be sitting there mumbling about P Funk, and they're gonna be like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "Back up, I've got the COVID." Like gonna shove me in the hospital. Stephanie's gonna have to come pick me up. Be like, they found you naked in the woods. It's like I don't remember anything. It's just
fugue state.
it's. I'm telling you, it's bad news bears. It's really no fun. But
Anyone have any advice on what to do? I got the
I got the
Rona.
Rona.
I don't know. Maybe like Stephanie was onto something with getting a dog, but like I
Maybe
don't know that. I don't know. Maybe
that
they need
would
to be
not
like
be
an
the.
adult dog that talks and brings you coffee. What is that? A
Uh,
butler? We need
yeah,
butlers.
we
Can
need
we
a
have
butler.
butlers?
We need a butler. We need something. And and what's bad
Dog.
is I love podcasting more than anything. Like not more than anything, but it is my primary
Hi.
joy. It is my high time of the week. And for 2 weeks in a row I've been like I can't do it tonight. I can't do it tonight. And tonight you texted me and you gave me like an out and I was like I want to just sleep for days. I need to do
Yeah.
the show. I made myself get in here. Now you're playing therapist for me, and it's good, and it's working.
That's what I was like. I want to go to. I don't know why, but like I've been so like Jacob and I both have been. Well, because we stayed up all night because after the show we were both hyped up last night, and like after the baby goes down, you're like, I have no time. Like it
Freedom.
is 9 o'clock. The baby just went to bed. I just ate. If I go to bed now, I'll throw up. So you try to stay up a little bit, but I don't know, whatever. So we ended up staying up really late.
Yeah,
By really late, I mean midnight.
that's really late for a parent of a child. I remember
That wakes
doing
up
that
at
playing The
6.
Witcher once. I stayed up till 11:30. I was like,
Dumb.
I'm so dead, and I was.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's bad news.
Stupid.
But no, I mean, I
Farmers
say
on
all
that.
that stuff just to say, hey, if you're out there and you're also struggling, particularly if you're local and you're losing it, let's get together and lose it at the same time. Let's lose it together.
It's getting closer though, because the same friend that her daughter just got COVID, they tested negative, but they're gonna test again this weekend just because sometimes it
Yeah,
takes a
sure.
while. She's like, so everybody in my family will be vaccinated by August. She's like, can we please God go to the beach? And I'm like, I don't see why
Yes.
not. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then like my other friend, she's like, yeah, we'll be fully vaxxed. The only thing is like kids can't get vaccinated right now. So if your kid's doing this, and this, and this, and I'm like, I can't, I will hang out with you, but not around my child.
Right.
Like your child
Yeah.
can't hang out with my child.
Yeah. That's the thing. And they don't know how bad it is, like that they've been isolated from everyone that they could play with.
Yeah.
They don't know, but I know. I know how damaging it is. I know how bad it is for our relationship to be in this state for too much longer because it just
Maybe
is.
we could build like is anybody out there that listens to the show how good are you are at building robot slightly sentient like kind of like terminators but planators
So they
planator
just play. They're learning computer robots that play with your
just
children.
like the energizer bunny of playbots.
Except
Like they
they're
just
too
never
strong.
like your child comes in going, Daddy, I'm so tired. Please put me to bed. And you're like, high five, Playnator.
You played the Playdator 800.
The the play it, well, yeah. Should we just bump it up to like the Playnator T1000?
Yeah, liquid metal. They
Yeah.
can take any shape.
Yeah.
but it just plays with you. And it's like, I really want to play with a transformer. It's like, no problem. Now I'm a transformer.
I am a transformer. Hop in, bitch.
Yeah, I am a transformer. It's like it'd be like a Teddy Ruxpin, but like that could do more than just open its eyes and stuff. You remember Teddy Ruxpin?
Okay, did the Teddy Ruxpin have like a beak? Like
No, it was a
okay, I'm gonna
bear.
look.
Bears don't
Yeah,
have
but I
beaks.
swear to God, it had a beak.
Bears beaks.
Teddy
Battlestar Galactica.
Bear's beak. Teddy. How do you spell Teddy Ruxpin? Teddy Rux. Oh, there we go.
RUXPIN. Yeah.
R
Google
U
should
X.
know.
That's so weird. Okay,
Furby.
so my brain remembers that it had. Oh my God, this is so bright. And it
Furby
hurts
had
my
a
face.
beak.
Image. Is that it?
Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
Furby did.
Oh, there's no.
God,
There's no.
Furbies.
Okay, so in my horror dreams. Oh my God, what is that?
It's a Furby.
Ah!
Kids these days don't know what it's like to want a Furby for Christmas.
Furbies. Did I tell you I ripped the batteries out of my Furby and shoved it under my bed because I thought it was the most awful thing ever. My God, there's an entire like Etsy genre of creep dolls.
Oh, geez. Nope.
Creepy demon bear beanie baby.
Nope.
$18.
Oh man. There's the ticket. We just need to start making demon baby animals and selling them on Etsy.
What?
This is a great idea.
Anyway, okay, so maybe my brain is mixing the Teddy Ruxpin because his mouth moved, right? Did his
Sure,
mouth
yeah.
move?
He was a fully animatronic bear that nobody could afford to buy.
So creepy.
remember
But
wanting
I've
one.
mixed that up with the Furby, and so in my brain, there's a picture of somebody cutting open Teddy Ruxpin's face, and it hurts my feelings.
I'm trying to imagine a Teddy Ruxpin mashed up with a Furby, and it really is a horrifying thought.
It's the Teddy Rups. I can't say Ruxpin. That's such a stupid name.
Ruxpin, spend gold for me. If you can say my name, you can be free.
Oh, I like that. That was
Give
terrifying.
me your baby. Rumpelstiltskin was jacked up. I've been telling Sam those stories lately, and I got to Hansel and Gretel, and I was like, am I going to tell him that they shoved the witch into the oven? Yes, I am. They shoved the witch into the oven, and then they escaped.
But did you tell him that she was going to eat them?
Yeah, of course. I said she'd be making them eat food so they would plump up so she could eat them because they were fat little piggy children. Because
What did Sam say
they
to
ate
that?
a shingle off her house. He was fine. He doesn't care. We watched Godzilla tonight. He was like, "This is great. I want to do something else."
Was that the new Godzilla?
King of the Monsters. We didn't watch Kong, so I ain't got spoilers for that. But we did watch King of the Monsters because I had to catch up in the complex tale of kaiju punching each other. I had to know what happened first.
Well, speaking of kaiju, you sent me the teaser trailer monkey banana fart Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And there was a kaiju in it, and I lulled.
That was great. I'm real excited for that movie. It may be the redemption for that entire sector of the universe. Because that initial one was terrible.
I have not been excited for a movie in a while. And I think I'm excited. Granted, he basically just took the personalities from Guardians of the Galaxy and body snatched them into other characters because I feel like that's what he's real good at, right?
Sure. But the good news,
it works.
Yeah, and he took the Suicide Squad comics from the 70s as all his inspiration. Not the ones that are most recent or whatever. He took all the stuff from like back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, so it's got like a lot of the comics he was pulling from are like G.I. Joe vibe kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be, and he's really good about writing weirdos. He's going to be fine. It's going to be great.
Jacob's vacuuming. So the kaiju that they mentioned. Yeah, okay. So a finished thought. I'm sorry. My brain's not working today. The kaiju. Wait, yes, the kaiju looked like the one from The Watchmen that they didn't put in the movie,
squid.
But that was in the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, except it was walking.
Its name is Starro, I think.
Oh, it's for reals?
Yeah, it's actual character named Starro. It's one of the Justice League villains.
See, I never read any of the Suicides. I didn't know that Suicide Squad was a thing until it hit the television, and I did some back reading.
Yeah, you got to get the Wikipedia out. Yeah, Starro,
Yes.
the Conqueror, fictional supervillain that appears in comic books published by DC Comics. So yeah,
I really think that a bunch of dudes that sit around in a hot box room with like just the lit fags in their mouth the whole time, like scratching their hairy anus and doing LSD, wrote a lot of these comics together. And like it didn't matter because it just would get published at that point. They're like, fuck it. Starfish.
the giant
Starfish Godzilla.
I like it. I think
What's its name? Starro.
you had to be pretty high, I think, to write some of the DC comics. Like whoever let them write Justice Society of America, or the 27th Century Justice League or whatever, and they're like, Lightning Lad. There's a name for a superhero. How you like that?
Just give me whatever
What?
alliterative bullshit you can spill off right now.
Lightning Lad? This is what we're doing? Arm fall off boy. Yeah, like what the devil? These are real things.
What?
What are we doing? Plastic Man? What? Huh? DC's bonkers. Like Marvel, you've got something to grab onto. I think one of the things that makes DC so hard is they try to ground it and then it loses it. But then when they try to elevate it to just spacey ridiculousness like the comics are, we can't connect to it anymore. So they're stuck in this weird place. Matter Eater Lad. Yeah, Travis has got him memorized. Matter Eater Lad. He can literally
That's what
just
I call
eat
my
anything.
child.
Yes. Good name. Good name. We should do the rest of the show.
Yeah, it's 9:52. I would like to be done at 10.
Okay, well, let's roll. South African drivers have the option to install flamethrowers on their cars. During the 1990s, violent crime reached epidemic proportions in South Africa. Johannesburg, in particular, became notorious as the carjacking capital of the world. In response, inventor Charles Forey developed the blaster, also known as the BMW flamethrower, that could be mounted on the sides of vehicles. Mad Max is in South Africa, not Australia. This is where the ingenuity's happening.
I want a Steven, do you know how happy I would be to have a flamethrower on my car?
I know how unhappy most everyone else would be that you had that.
I mean, I'm fine unless you're a douche nugget.
Okay, yeah.
And then I went to use my vehicle as a battering ram. I'm
For
still
that,
pissed
you
off
need
at that dick
metal.
for that passed me.
You will never let that go. You will find
I
him.
will not. I was on the phone with Jacob and like I swerved my car. He's like, "Honey, our child is in the vehicle." I'm like, "He'd have been fine."
Yeah. He's strapped in. 5-point harness and turn backwards. You can't get better than that.
Yeah, he was fine. You don't need to be within 500 feet of fire. True, but if it's on the outside and it's aimed at other people,
You could probably, if we kept you away from all forms of fire, I think you would just find a way to manifest it yourself, like in your hands.
So cool.
Like if you were restricted from being able to use fire of any kind, and if you were to get close to it, people would extinguish it like immediately. You would become it. It would be your special ability.
Like an inferno. So I actually played with fire today. I was showing the baby because I had this candle and I trimmed it and I lit it with a match and like the baby was like, "Let me touch it." And like I let him, if something's hot, I let him touch it to know that it's hot. And I just sign hot. So I told him, I was like, "That's fire. It's hot." And he kind of looked at me and he was like, "This." And I'm like, "You can touch it, but it's going to hurt." So he reached out and held his hand over it, like pulled it back. And he's like, "Ee." But he was so excited because he's like, "Okay, I know it's hot." And then like you could see he wanted to reach out a couple more times, but he's like, "That's going to burn my dick off. I'm not going to touch it." I'm like, "Ta-da!"
Yeah, that's how
the child has learned.
Every kid will grab the stove at some point.
He's
Sam did
it.
Yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it when you're not looking. They'll be like, "Pow," and then it's gonna be bad news. So yeah, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the hot, the hurt, whatever. And
yeah,
this is they get it. Gosh, sign language is the greatest The greatest thing.
Phenomenal.
It works. I was like, sign language to babies is weird, and then I'm like, Sam's motioning more when he was like 1. I am so
Give
thankful.
me the food, Daddy.
I want more food instead of just losing it, because he can't
Yeah.
communicate. He's like, more food. I'm like, oh my gosh, you are a sentient being.
It is so weird when they like communicate back. You're like,
Yeah, or that you see that flash of understanding in their little baby head. And you're like, what's this?
it's weird. It's weird because it's weird. Read
It
the next
is-
story.
It is weird. The next story, world news. Hope we're awake. That was intense. Thai burglar woken up by police after he falls asleep while robbing a house. In a hilarious incident, I think we'll decide if it's hilarious news story. A burglar who had broken into a house in Thailand to steal valuables became tired and fell asleep. But in an unfortunate twist for him, the house belonged to a police officer. The burglar was woken up from his slumber by the cop, and he was arrested for trespassing. According to sources, the burglar had broken into the house of one Jiam Prasert, police sword officer of Wichanburi District Police Station. Sword officer, that's cool.
Jam Persert? What's a Jam Persert?
Jiam Prasert, that's his name.
Oh,
he's in Phetchabun province around 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the morning. This is not
news.
You wrote it wrong. The thief, 22-year-old Athitkin Kunthud, had been stalking the area for quite some time and felt tired when he went inside the house to steal. While he was in the house, he was overcome with fatigue and thus decided to take a nap before going away with the valuables. Thus, he switched on the air conditioner in the officer's daughter's room and fell asleep. But as ill luck would have it, Athitkin Kunthud ended up sleeping till morning and was fast asleep when the officer awoke and found that despite his daughter not being at home, the air conditioner in her room was on. Jiab Prasert then found the burglar asleep on the bed and called for backup to get him arrested. The video of the arrest has now gone viral and shows a confused Athit as he sees police officers near him. Don't fall asleep at the scene of the crime. Like, how tired are you that you can just be like, I'm going to take a nap?
Now, if I broke into a house right now, I'd be like, F all of y'all. You wake me up, I'm going to shoot you with your own gun.
Okay. You got a Band-Aid on your head there.
I did. Jacob got a Band-Aid. Freaking Walgreens. Suck a duck.
You didn't get a Band-Aid from Walgreens?
I didn't get shit. Well, I got a Band-Aid on my arm, but like I didn't get like a cool sticker.
Oh my gosh. They didn't give me a you did good sticker.
Steven! I waited for freaking ever! I had an appointment that they did not keep. I was on time. I left my child. I wanted a sticker. Like I could go get a donut. They could have given. Oh my god, I want a donut. I am falling apart.
Yeah, we all are. We all are. At least we're falling apart together.
There.
We're small town news. Hey, real quick, did I jack up this story and accidentally type things in it? Nope, I didn't. I didn't do that.
Did I
redo that? I don't know. Maybe it's hard to tell. I guess
child cheats gibberish.
Oh, okay, gibberish. Gotcha. I didn't read the headline. I saw my cursor blinking on the gibberish, and I was convinced that I randomly highlighted it and just overwrote everything.
I would have been like trying to figure out what was a young child inadvertently sparked confusion over the weekend by posting an unintelligible tweet to the official account of the U.S. Strategic Command. Oh my God. Whoops. Daddy's working from home. The agency is responsible for safeguarding America's nuclear weapons. Some social media users fear the account may have been hacked.
Oh, no.
But it has since been revealed a young member of the account's social media manager's family was responsible for posting the tweet. Goals, blah, 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 semicolon, which was then deleted within minutes. The command's Twitter manager momentarily left the command's Twitter account. Please say command one more time so I can jab my eyes out. And unattended. The response said, adding he had been working from home. Shocked face. His very young child took advantage of the situation, started playing with the keys, and unfortunately and unknowingly posted the tweet. A spokesman also confirmed suggesting the account had been hacked were false. Absolutely nothing nefarious occurred. Something adorable occurred. a 2-year-old was like, "Daddy left his account open." Lol, 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 lol.
You're gonna do some work, man. There's a job
Yes,
that didn't exist 20 years ago. A social media manager. You
for
know?
like nuclear command,
Yeah,
nuclear.
right. I mean,
You remember
hey.
when the worst thing we had to worry about was someone saying nuclear?
Oh yeah, remember we were having conspiracy nostalgia yesterday on Staring at Goats, where you're just like, remember when it was like the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs and One World Order, and now you're dealing with like people
Jewish space lasers and
believing,
people.
yeah, like nonsense. You're like, why is it hollow
There's
Earth?
aliens in the center of the planet,
Oh
and we need
gosh.
guns that don't exist to take them out, or else they're gonna crab people the world.
Now I long for the simpler times when we worried we didn't really have to worry. Lando and I were talking about the other day. I was like, you know what I find interesting is that roughly 100 people hold in their hands the ability to obliterate the earth for all of us, and we're just somehow down with that. Like you go anywhere in the world, and just mostly people just doing their job and eating their food and trying to live. And then there's like a group of people clustered in a room somewhere sitting on nuclear codes. Just going,
Actually, that's a really good point.
I want to start a war with that country. You're like, F you. None of us no one here wants to shoot at each other. But you want to play this fancy chess game where you take us and make us go shoot at each other for liberty. Anyway, I think most people just want a piece of land and they want to sit and don't want to get
I want
punched.
a Two Dorks freaking compound. Like, you don't even know how much. Like, this Stephanie was like, we're talking about getting a piece of land. I'm like, if we do not start a compound because of the last year, I'm going to be so pissed. I was talking to Zafo the other day. I'm like, I'm staring at Ghost Chat. I'm like, where should we get the land? Because, and I hate to say it, but I'm like, okay, West Virginia, there's no tornadoes, there's no hurricanes. Like, most of the flooding doesn't happen. Like, it gets cold, but there's still a growing season.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the way everything's warming up, like, but I don't know.
Tropical.
It could be like, either that or like Russia in the next 5 years. Who knows?
You don't want to be in the valleys. That's where you don't want to be. That's the bad idea. Travis says Michigan's not bad. That's just because he wants to stay where he is. Travis.
Yeah.
I
see what you're doing. See, even Kelly's saying, and so like my dad like not wanting to move out of West Virginia to keep the house. I'm like, motherfucker, if he proves right about this, I'm just like,
He's been right about everything he's ever said. You know that, right?
Except the aliens.
The Hollow Earth thing. That's different.
Move back to Florida. Like, y'all in Florida are gonna have fire ants and bees the size of your penis, and like, this is just gonna be a nuclear wasteland.
Xantor's been talking to my dad. When you moving back? I'll put a trailer on the land for you.
No. You move up here. Global warming's gonna fry that part of the world.
I could move anywhere I want at this point because the entire structure of how people work has been thrown off its axis. So
right?
Now, like, where do you want me to go? I just need internet. That's all. But right now I'm happy.
Somewhere where we can grow food.
Sure, yeah.
That's not going to be underwater. That's not in the new Tornado Alley. There's no hurricanes. I mean, at this point, like where we are in North Carolina is going to be beachfront property in 20 years.
You're probably right. It's all over. Newspaper Left Untold. Kelly says Houston and most of LA and Michigan will be so hot humans won't be able to cool down during the summer without technology. Michigan and MI, is that Michigan? MI is Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Why would it be hot in Michigan? But yeah, LA is not habitable for humans now. Mississippi.
MISS Mississippi.
Yeah. Nobody wants to move to Mississippi anyway.
So
they have nothing to offer. There's a town in Mississippi paying you to move there right now. I can't remember which town it is, but they give you a stipend to move there.
If you're white.
Kind of like Alaska. But yeah, LA's uninhabitable. LA shouldn't exist because the aqueduct is what made them possible.
Yeah. Anywhere you can't live without technology.
Mm-hmm. Vegas is about to be Vegas is about to be unlivable if you watch how much that lake next to Vegas has shrunk because of the water consumption over the past like 40 years.
Why why? I don't understand why we do shit. Like, we're like, hey, I'm gonna build this big dam. I'm like, nothing could go wrong. Hey, I'm gonna go live in a desert. Nothing could go wrong. I'm gonna build a house on a tiny strip of sand in like the literal ocean. Nothing could go wrong. I mean, I'm a vacation there like a mofo, but I'm not gonna live there.
No, I'm not gonna own a house on the beach. Are you crazy?
No.
Why? It gets pummeled every year. Why would? No, I don't think so.
Doesn't Michigan get like penguin jizz cold a lot?
Yeah, penguin jizz cold. That's exactly what it's the weatherman says every Tuesday. No, I can't
Penguin
do it.
bukake in Michigan today.
Colorado would be pretty cool. You know, they've got weed. A lot of
We're all gonna
flatland,
need weed.
despite them having mountains. They also have a lot of nothing. But yeah, could be cool. Could be cool. Idaho, Montana.
Colorado's too dry now. Our lungs will implode.
True. Why French people may need to buy a porn pass at the tobacco. What's a tobacco? I don't know. To access online pornography. You have to buy a porn pass? Let's see what the French have decided to pass a law about today to further restrict the freedoms of their people. Following a ruling from the French Broadcast Authority, the online porn sites must do more to verify the age of their customers. Users in France face a range of extra checks, including the possibility of having to go to the tabac. What's a tabac? Find out what tabac is, actually. To buy a porn pass. I don't even know how to say this. Tabac. Tabac.
Bag. French.
Merci. Tabac. The French Broadcasting Authority, the CSA, has ruled that current age verification checks, which generally amount to little more than checking a box, are inadequate and has put 8 porn sites on notice that they must do more or face being blocked in France. The 8 sites, which include international giant Pornhub and the French sites Xvideos and Jacques et Michel, now have 2. Is that Jackie and Michelle? Jackie and Michael, if you were to translate that to
I
English.
know what it is.
Oh, okay. What's a tobacco?
It's French for tobacco. It is a shop license to sell tobacco products in France and Spain. Tabacs also sell newspapers, telephone cards, postage stamps, and multi-journey bus tickets.
Oh, thank you very much, Ashley, for that information. Doing good work here. Doing good work. They now have 2 weeks to explain to regulators the actions they intend to take, and users in France have reported warning notices about imminent closure on some sites' homepages. An anti-domestic violence law passed this summer includes a clause about allowing minors to access sexual content, which allows the CSA to issue legal notices to any site which it considers has insufficient age verification processes. It's up to each site to come up with its own age verification process that will satisfy the regulator. Pornhub has published a list of proposals, which include taking a selfie with Age ID, showing a piece of ID to a webcam, making a micropayment via a bank card or mobile phone, or in the in-person and age-verified purchase of a porn pass at the Tabac, which would give a code allowing access to the site. Oh, there won't be a black market for that popping up anytime soon. In France, the tobacco, as well as selling tobacco, also provides a range of administrative services from paying bills to buying un timbre fiscal, which allows you to make payments to the government for taxes or pay fines such as parking fines. So yeah, people can go into tobacco, buy a code, go out and sell it to a bunch of 12-year-olds. And they're gonna make a killing.
I mean, they're French. I don't understand why they're regulating that.
Why are they so hung up? They fuss at us about hang-ups. Look at what are they hung up about now? It is not us who are just the Puritans. You are now Puritans, France. Take that.
That is weird. Like I thought they were a bit more liberal with the boobies than we were.
Yeah, but I guess they still don't want like gratuitous content. Maybe they're fine if you're jogging topless, but they're not so into like actual performance art. If you know what I mean.
Did you say performance art?
Yeah. That's what it is. It's performance art.
I perform with my vagina and this ping pong ball.
Is that a thing?
It could be. I don't know.
Probably. Hey, you know what? There's something for everybody. WTF.
Do you ever feel like you have to burp?
Yeah, frequently. After chugging root beer.
Oh, I want root beer.
Mm.
Trinity College in Perth, Australia. Oh. Bans mullet haircuts, labeling them unacceptable. I have one friend who lives in Perth. and I want to send this story to him.
Perth's on the far end of Australia, right? There's your
The
Sydney,
opposite
Melbourne.
side
There's
of
like
Sydney.
all the stuff, and then Perth is over here,
Yeah.
where there's less stuff.
Everything's very spread out in Oz because
Yeah.
it's just mostly bush.
We
You've
think
got the cities on the edges.
there's no
And you
water in the
ignore
middle.
the upper top of Darwin because
There's
those are
nothing
the
in
rednecks.
there's nothing in there. There's nothing
No,
in the
it's just
middle. Like my buddy Paul
kangaroos
was
and
like, you drive to a
grass.
certain point and they're like, unless you have a full tank of gas in a very gassed up vehicle, you do not go past this point because you're gonna die out there. We can't come get you.
I mean, yeah, like that's why, God, what was the guy that explored? He explored Australia, and he ended up eating a wallaby raw because there was nothing.
Yeah.
I
There
forget
could
his
be
name.
something.
Anyway,
We just need
Zafo,
an
yes.
aqueduct.
So mullets are like super popular in like certain like Korea and Japan, like for guys to have, but they're like, I don't know. They're not red mullets. They're kind of like K-pop mullets.
You will never find a person who regrets not doing a fashion thing. Like you won't. I doubt you'll find anybody who didn't have a mullet in the late '80s, early '90s who's like, I really wish I had had a mullet when they were cool. You find most people going, dang, why did I grow my hair so stupid? All these pictures look ridiculous. Particularly like mullet and stash, because the mullet and the mustache almost went together. Can't have the mullet, can't have the mustache, and the vacant expression on your face at all times.
The only mullet I remember thinking like just suited them was the cast of that show with the twins, but their sister's popular now. Full House.
Full House. Uncle Jesse's mullet?
Yeah.
He was
Like,
that was not okay.
Was it not okay?
No, go back. If
I
you
don't
go
rem-
back,
okay.
your rose-colored glasses of Jesse's mullet. It was
Yeah.
not okay.
I think that's it. I think like just stuff happens. Like there's this big movement for guys to go away from cargo pants to the skinny shorts, and I'm like, I don't think necessarily the guys are like, yeah, let me shove my dick in the tightest pants that I can get, so I don't have room for my wallet. Like that'll be cool. It just kind of happens, and you just buy your pants and move on.
If you buy jeans that are so tight that you have to put your keys on a carabiner, your pants are wrong. And not only that, if you're over age 30, I promise you that muffin top is not looking great under your shirt. Like, it doesn't. I've watched people in bands are the worst about wearing the tightest jeans in the world, particularly church praise and worship bands. Because you look at them and you're like, dude, you are way too puffy for the pants you have on. Like, everything.
And they sag them.
And then it's like sagging because they can't get them up over the rest of their puff. And it's like,
yeah.
You are not the lithe frame that you need to be to pull this off.
No.
I don't care what band you're in. I don't care if you have replaced everybody in Fall Out Boy. You could not wear pants like that. Like, it's not going to happen. Whatever happened to the time in the early aughts where it got real popular for musicians just to wear t-shirts and shorts? It was just like...
just be comfortable.
You could just be comfortable on stage. And it slowly morphed into, like, plaid and tight pants. And it was like... What happened to just the people with the 13-inch barrel shorts and the t-shirt? And that was okay. That's how I wanted to be.
I do feel like guys that forego pants with multi-pockets have never had the choice taken away from them. Like, because women don't get pockets. We either get pockets that you could... like are this shallow, the pockets that are sewn closed or decorative, or like no pockets.
Yeah, because you'll keep your hexes in there.
That's
where you keep your hexes and your horcruxes and stuff in your pockets.
It's so sad.
We can't have that.
Like Tommy Hilfiger's like, they will put the rose water in their pockets and bewitch us all.
They will carry sexual paraphernalia with themselves. and say we'll get in trouble with the boys.
I went German and you went Defender.
The boys. Yellow, I heard you wanted pockets on your skirts to hide your condoms. Not for you, naughty
Also,
girls.
so I was thinking about this last night. I was falling to sleep. I'm like, okay, so like if I went back in time, like, but still had the knowledge I have now, like, what would I do? Like, I wouldn't wear an effing skirt. And I'm like, but I would probably get hanged. But I'm like, so you're taking something that's easy access and considered sexy now, like skirts, and if a woman wears pants, you're like, oh, I can see your legs. I'm like, I'm sorry. Do my thighs do it for you? Like, so pulling up the skirt and having it go isn't as like a turn on as going, I see a knee shape and
Look,
your balloon pants.
they didn't want it to be difficult to get to women. They wanted it to be easy to get to women, but they wanted to pretend like it was somehow
Maybe
more
that's what it
modest
was.
for you to wear a dress
Yes.
when they could just take you out behind the barn and be gross and pervy
Right.
dudes. That's what it is. It's all manipulation. The skirts and dresses and stuff was all just manipulation by the
Gaslighting.
patriarchy to be like, no, this is how you dress because it's modest. And it's like, wait a minute, all I have to do is hike it up a few feet and you got everything you need to access. And they're like, yes.
I think
If you
women
will
should
think
go
about
back to wearing like the balloon underwear.
it. With
Like
the bustle
well,
in the
yeah, what
back.
were those called? The poofy doubloon
The
whatever. I'm
bustle.
sorry. Sorry.
You put like a big old wire frame
The bun
tush
roll.
to make your butt look bigger because it was attractive. All I can say is the males have been attracted to women. Men have been attracted to women since the dawn of time, no matter what you are
Period.
wearing. So don't
Hairy
worry about it.
legs,
Hairy
hairy
legs,
armpits,
hairy armpits,
full
potato
Australian
sack.
bush.
You're wearing a burlap bag, and they're like, I got to get me some of that. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and all your teeth are out, and nothing's working. Like it.
It's biology. Like people be wanting to procreate, yo.
Yeah, or all of us wouldn't be here. I will say this: our school enforced a skirt policy. Like all girls had to wear skirts or dresses, right? But I will say that when it came to Servants in Action Day, which is what we called our volunteer day, and the girls were allowed to wear jeans, that was a day where you were
Because
like,
it was something
oh my
different.
gosh. I remember being like 15, sitting with Landon on the bleachers during Service in Action Day, and both of us are just quietly looking around like a couple lions looking at gazelles. And Landon's like, I really love Service in Action Day. I'm like, yeah, it ain't bad.
So
We're like
bad.
hiding in the bushes. Look.
Wait, like girls do it too. It is funny that we like vilify teenage boys for being thirsty, but we're just as
Knew what you
thirsty.
they knew what yeah. Look, I heard enough stories. I know what was going on. They
There's
picked
just
out those
you're
particular jeans
that
for
is
a
the
reason.
ideal age to breed, evolutionarily speaking. So your hormones are like, put it in that, put it in that, spread that seed, get no babies. Yeah, procreate. It doesn't matter. That's just what we're typically biologically bred to do if you're like
Well, you weren't going to
whatever.
live to be 25. I mean, you had to get started
No.
early.
The lion's gonna eat your ass. An elite private boys' school in Western Australia has banned the mullet hairstyle after deeming the hairdo not acceptable. The Trinity College in Perth outlined their ban in the retro haircut in its recent newsletter. It is without reservation that the college sets clear requirements that ensure health and safety, as well as setting a high standard for personal presentation. Oh my God, eat a dick. The current trend of growing the hair at the back of the head and or closely cropping the sides of the head to accentuate the mullet style are untidy, non conventional, and not acceptable at Trinity College, as is the trend of long hair and fringes. Bangs if you're from anywhere in the United States. The college expectations on hairstyles can be found on page 18 of the student diary. I want to set the college on fire reading this. Students who don't meet the school's grooming standards will be picked up by their parents in order to get a haircut. Schools stated that hairstyles should be, quote, a conservative nature and cut above the collar and were not allowed to fall below the students' eyes. Steve and I are having flashbacks and want to gouge our eyes out.
Hmm.
Students are not permitted to have mullets, rat tails, top knots, mohawks, extra long fringes, or any other non conventional style cuts.
I hate
Fantastic.
every hairstyle that they mention there. However, I will fight to the death for your ability to have it.
Yes!
I hate those
Butts and
hairstyles.
jeans.
But if you want them, go for it. It's not my head, it's your head. Who am I to tell you how to use your head? I don't care.
Like, as long as you're not coming in with like crabs and lice.
Yeah, these are people that are just hung up on wanting to tell other people how to live based on some standard they've set for themselves. Like, oh, I wish there was just an artist rendition from like 22 AD of Jesus rocking a top knot, with a tattoo on his neck. Like, so somebody could be like, "There, are we done here? Because I'm ready to. This is the least thing that I think is important to anyone, anywhere."
I understand wanting to present like a tidy, like, I get the idea of having rules for looks and dress and presentation because it does, like, the whole idea is like everybody's undergoing the same crap. You can all bond over the bullshittery and you present this like kind of militaristic nature, right? Like, I get it, but at the same point, like, when you take it to these extremes, like, there's this pushback, especially now, and I don't think it has. No, it's a Christian school, Travis. It's the same thing.
The military thing.
Oh
It's
my
just
god! So I had this idea that I want to write this series about a boarding school, and so a couple months ago I looked up some stuff for boarding school. There's like people are effing traumatized that get sent to boarding schools, like, because the separation from the parents, and like there's this whole culture that goes with it, and like actual, and HG will probably know this better than me, but um like psychological issues that only boarding school kids have that last their whole life, and it can contribute to whatever, all kinds of, it was fascinating, like absolutely fascinating. So
there's such a
it messes up lots of children.
it's because there's like this thin line. Like, you really are walking this narrow pathway of sanity. Because you can be either absentee in a child's life, and then like, oh, do whatever you want, it's freedom, live your life, but they don't want that. Or you can
Yeah.
be so rigorously structured that you cause rebellion because it's like, this
Yeah.
is too much. So you have to figure out this thin line of like, I want to be there, I want to support, I want to kind of weave you this direction, but I also
Guide
want you to feel
rails.
like it's your idea, because if it's not, it won't work. Like,
That's
the,
only you and Sam.
I love. Well, I need to feel like it's my idea to some degree, but I also need to know I'm not going to get in trouble. But like, that's what I was reading in my in that book I'm reading, the Influence People, the Dale Carnegie
Yeah.
Jam. It was like, think of the amount of times you've ever been able to argue someone into agreeing with you about anything. Very close to zero, if not completely zero. It's like, you have to tell them, you have to make them convince themselves by just agreeing with them and asking questions until they are on your side. Like, good tip. Good
Yeah.
tip. I am not good at that. I tend to either be completely disconnected and not want to argue at all, or I just brush it over, or I'm incredibly blunt and then regret everything I just said. Stephanie heard me talking in here one day, and she came and she's like, "What were you talking about? You were like laying the smack down." I was like, "What did I say?" She's like, "I don't know, but it was like you were in there." And I'm like, if that's the way it came off, I'm terrified, because it really shouldn't have been. Like, that's not how I roll. But I did get called an a-hole by a friend of mine once on the phone with some salespeople, because I was like, I don't want to talk for this. It's like,
You're gonna end up like, you're gonna be 50 and you're gonna be your dad.
like,
It's just like the slow evolution.
yeah, my dad threw somebody's coffee cup the other day. He told me about. He got real mad. He took the coffee cup out of their hand and threw it.
Yep.
And he went back and said, I was stressed, and I don't like seeing people walking around acting casual when everything's on fire. So don't do that again.
But, you know.
Like, checks out.
I can see it. I'm sorry, but F your coffee.
Yeah, it's things are broken. Put that down. Nobody needs to see you looking like you're chilling. Supervisor with the hard hat and the coffee. Anyway,
I can see that.
Best of luck to Trinity College, and best of luck to you all in your many adventures out there trying to be who you are and live your life and do your thing. Because you know what? You only got one of them. Mine's half over, so let's drink up, everybody.
Yay!
So I'm going elk hunting with my potato. Have I ever hunted before? No. Have I ever thought about elk hunting? No. But Jacob wants to go and he needs company. I'm going.
I told Jacob's so excited about that, and then he's talking about going on a. I'm like, y'all, like Stephanie and I will be super. We'll have I don't even care if I'm pregnant or have a newborn. You guys just go. Go rope the cattle and shoot the elk. Have fun. Don't get it mixed up, but have fun.
Yes, yeah. Don't shoot the cattle at the ranch. That'll probably get you sent home.
I want a steak. Moo!
Well, I told Stephanie, I was like, if I do my dude trip with Jacob to shoot elk, you do sister trip or lady trip or whatever it is you want to do. Like, you get the same thing. Like, put you on a plane and you go wherever you want to go. Do your thing. Because we're all going to die, and there's no sense waiting around till we're 70 to try and think we're going to Ireland.
Let's just do the shit.
Just go.
Oh, Stephanie and I will go to Japan.
There, fine. Go to flipping Japan. I don't care. Hey, if you like the show, give us a review. It's the only thing we have holding us together, to be quite honest, is those 5-star reviews. Or tell your friends about it. Show up, be friends with people, be like, hey, have you heard of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades? Nice to meet you. I'm from such and such. Have you heard of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades? You should tell them. You can also follow us on Twitter, Steve H&H, and Fate Kills, Phate Kills. Tip us on the show. You can give us a little buckarino there at tudorks.net/tip. And you can also join our Patreon, where you get Patreon-related material from time to time that's just for you over there at tudorks.net/support. We'd like to thank our patrons, D.H. Dunn, the latest patron that joined us, Hammer Dwarf, Jesse, Og, Adam, and Christina of Geekheim, Oddly Normal One, and our parents, and my hiccups that I seem to have developed right at the end of the show. But yeah, thank you guys so much for contributing to everything that you contribute to. It's awesome. At the beginning of the month, which just happened today, I get that you just got paid from Patreon, and I get all tickled over it. It's fantastic. But the words of wisdom for this week before we leave you is from Terry Pratchett. Good call. Build a man a fire, and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire, and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. That's a good phrase. Thank you, Terry Pratchett. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.